おばさんで。
ああ、日本人にさ優しいよ。ペルーは日本人がいるじゃない。ブラジルのようにスペイン領、ブラジルがポルトガル領でペルーがスペイン領。フジモリが来たとこがさ、ペルーでしょ。だからそこ出身なのよ。で日本人に優しいんだよ。シャワー浴びた？じゃあ忘れ物ないね。よかったね。
Leverage Thanksgiving and Christmas. Invite somebody to church because there's about an 86%
早かったね。
they'll say sure. I'll go.
そうでもない。スチーム入った？
Stella, what a lovely name.
お父さんスチームルーム入った今日は？
入んない。シャワーだけ。
Yes.
スチーム治ってるでしょもう。入ればいいな。待ってるから。
I'm grateful and thankful for my family, our health. I've got a 94-year-old World War II veteran that lives with me, that is still active. I just want to say thank you, Lord.
Well, amen. Well, thank you, Stella, for driving the truck. You know, everybody, we get a lot of calls from a lot of truckers. And I say to people listening, if you have anything, clothes, food, the things you buy, the necessities of life, you can thank a truck driver because somebody delivered it, didn't they, Stella?
Yes, sir. Even if it's the tree, they get in your way and we're slow, but you wipe your hand on a piece of paper towel this morning, you may take me.
Wow. Well, listen, I'm honored that you would be listening, very honored that you would call. And, hey, be safe out there and know that we're grateful, Stella. Thanks for your...
And Merry Christmas to you. Be blessed.
And you too. God bless you. Elijah in Kentucky, thanks for holding and welcome to the American Family Radio Network.
Thank you. Do you know how many Palestinian Christians are living in Gaza, sir? And nobody will mention them at all?
You know what I was reading, and this is a good question. I was reading that they estimate that there are like 1,000 Palestinian Christians in Gaza. It's gone down in recent years, and you know it. Let me just say, in standing with Israel and for Israel, it doesn't mean we're not standing with human beings and human life in general, and especially Christians in Gaza. But in the 17 years that Hamas has been in power, I think it has dropped off precipitously. Do you know any better data than that, Elijah?
Yes, they do have a few thousand Christians living there.
Yeah.
But nobody will mention them, nobody will help them. I wonder why, sir.
Well, let me just say this. We will have a guest on tomorrow from one of the preeminent Christian relief ministries in the world. And I know that, frankly, at great personal danger, over the last 30 days, there has been, on the part of a couple of Christian organizations, boots on the ground, literally boots on the ground to help Palestinian Christians over there. And we're going to hear from the leader of one of these ministries tomorrow. Let me just say, I hear your concern and I appreciate it. I have heard some, pretty classified information that I'm not at liberty to share on the radio. I will just say this, folks, tune in tomorrow and you'll get some insight on that. And Elijah, thank you for what is a good and relevant question. We're going to Louisiana. Now, is it really Alex from Louisiana?
Yes, this is Alex.
And I'm Alex too. Well, welcome.
Are you Alex? Well,
I'm Alex
I tuned
as
into
well.
the radio and heard you talking. I felt like calling when you asked for people to call in about what's thankful. Nice to meet you,
Yeah.
Alex.
Good to meet you, my friend. I like your name.
It's a good one, right?
Right on, man.
Well,
God bless you.
I want to talk about what I'm thankful for, and if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna push back on you a little bit, but I'm doing it in a respectful way because I know that you're a respectful person and you're willing to hear it. I'm
Okay.
thankful for this country. I'm thankful for our Constitution because in our Constitution we have protections that are entrusted upon us, and you would say that they're given by God. I would believe that there are certain God-given rights, and one of that is separation of church and state. Now, I believe that completely means that all religions have a certain level of protections that they should be allowed. Everybody who practices any faith in this country absolutely deserves the right to be able to practice that without molestation from any outside forces. Unfortunately, that does mean that faiths that aren't smaller, they are unfortunately able to do that. You hear me?
Hey, I hear that music. Would you call in? I want to continue this conversation, and I think we're probably more in agreement than you might realize. I'm so sorry we're almost out of time, Alex, but here's the thing. Yes, I honestly believe that when there's the Equal Access Act of 1984, that schools, if a school is open to any group, any after-school group that is sanctioned, whether it be a Christian group, that does, by default, Muslim and even Satan groups can rent the building as well. But we'll talk about this more. Alex McFarland's here. I'll be on the Hamilton Corner tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central. God bless you. Stay tuned to AFR, and thanks for listening.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
90.5 KTXG, Greenville, Dallas. Around us. That's why Christians need to stand strong on family values and morality. Hi, I'm Ray Rooney, editor of The Stand, a blog from the American Family Association. The Stand has timely, carefully written articles on relevant cultural issues that you can quickly forward to others. Visit afa.net/The Stand.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
かわいい人形を立ててるよ。お父さん、かわいい人形を立ててるよ。見てこの新しく立てたんだよ。これ。ほらほらほら、水かけてる。ほらお父さん、水かけてる。かわいい人形。
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding you. We will see the Iron Dome make some interceptions, although it won't stop all of them here in the north. Now looking to Gaza, where the IDF says that it killed 3 Hamas commanders today.
How are you? I don't see no Will. Will? Yeah, he's not here alone. He's here. Oh, he's here. Okay.
Inside the hospital on October 7th, the gunman bringing in 2 hostages.
Top tech companies have been subpoenaed by a Senate committee to testify as lawmakers seek answers about allegations of online child exploitation. Cornell Scott has more. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Dick Durbin and Ranking Republican Lindsey Graham have sent subpoenas to social workers, questions on alleged child exploitation, despite weeks of negotiation to appear. They seek to have the tech leaders at their December 6th hearing, but 2 of the CEOs from Discord and X refused to accept the subpoenas. The committee will employ U.S. Marshals to personally deliver them. Gurnall, Fox News.
Despite a public-private partnership to get more Americans into electric vehicles, interest is no longer building. Chris Woodward has more.
According to the Wall Street Journal, sales of all electric vehicles in the U.S. have plateaued around the 100,000 a month mark for the past year and a half after a period of growth. Inventories are piling up, and even though prices are falling, people are not flooding dealerships to buy EVs. This is Larry Behrens of Power the Future.
When we look at it, we see that the market that is in there for EVs is really saturated. So folks that are making more than $150,000 a year, they don't need to travel more than 100 miles a day, or sometimes even less in kind of in urban areas. And so they have purchased their EVs, and the rest of us really don't want one.
Pointing to EV registration in New Mexico as an example, Barron says less than 1% of all cars on the road were EVs. People that own them were in concentrated areas of high income and urban settings.
They didn't drive that far, and they had a lot of disposable income to be able to spend on them. And once those purchased an EV, a lot of them have a secondary internal combustion engine car that they use for the things that they really need to get done. And so all that solves problems.
Consumers have their reasons for not getting electric vehicles, but one thing that tends to pop up in many cases is the lack of charging infrastructure. Now, the Biden administration has taken steps to increase the amount of charging stations, but critics say that's more tax dollars being spent on top of tax breaks for people that buy EVs.
With holiday travel season set for takeoff, officials at Boston Logan International Airport say they've been revamping the airport's technology. Grady Trimble has more.
It's hiring or speeding up the hiring of air traffic controllers. It's improving airport infrastructure and approving more money for de-icing equipment. Not sure how much all of that will help travelers this week, because Thanksgiving travel is already in full swing, with 2.3 million and 2.6 million passengers going through TSA checkpoints across the country, respectively, on Saturday and Sunday. It's only going to get busier tomorrow and Wednesday. The holiday travel week comes days after a report found technology at the FAA is outdated and air traffic controllers are stretched thin.
And bad weather could pose a threat to those traveling for Thanksgiving this week.
All eyes are on the weather map as we kick off the hectic Thanksgiving travel week. Millions of holiday flyers could be delayed by extreme storms brewing out west. Those storms expected to cross the country over the next several days, so keep a weather eye, as they say.
It's Kevin Corp reporting. More news online at AFN.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
What we believe about the Bible is based on what we believe about its source.
The God Who Speaks, the award-winning documentary from the American Family Association, is now available in a special limited edition DVD set. This release includes a Sunday school curriculum and 2 hours of additional footage. Go to thegodwhospeaks.org to get your copy today. thegodwhospeaks.org. Remember, our phone number is... Oh, wait. This is a re-air, so we won't be taking phone calls. Although you might hear calls that sound live, and they were when they were taken. But, well, you get the picture. The following is an encore presentation on American Family Radio. We inform.
Religious freedom is about people of faith being able to live out their faith, live out their convictions, no matter where they are.
We equip.
Sacred honor is the courage to speak truth, to live out your free speech.
We also rejoice in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope.
This is At the Core on American Family Radio.
Welcome to The Core here on American Family Radio Network. Glad to have you with us today on the program. Rick Green and I, we are your hosts each week. Rick Green and Walker Wildman, and we're your host each week on the program. At the Core is the name of the show. The network you're listening to is American Family Radio. AFR.net is the URL, or the American Family Radio app on your smartphone or tablet device, or wherever you download apps. We're on Roku as well. We have the Amazon Alexa skill available, so we are should be wherever you are on all various platforms and devices. That's At the Core. We would love for you to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Just type in the name of the show. Once you land there, click the plus button or the subscribe button, and the show will be queued up in your podcast store each and every day that we upload the podcast. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, this is we're toward the end of October here. And we are wrapping up our special for the month. That's our Ryan DeFreitas DVD set that we have 20% off for the month of October. The Ryan DeFreitas Secret Agent DVD sets are available for a few more days at resources.afa.net. We're selling them in 3 episode bundles for value purposes, so it's more cost effective for you and for us to ship these in bundles of 3. And who just wants one, right? Why not have more than one? We've got 3 episodes in a bundle. What I'm holding here in front of me for those watching on Facebook or streaming.afa.net, I've got the 10, 11, and 12 bundle here, but you can get a glimpse as far as what we're talking about. So that's our special for the month of October, 20% off, and that includes free shipping. You know, last month we had a pretty good deal with our Constitution pack or Constitution combo, but this is also a good deal. Ryan DeFreitas DVD set just in time for the holidays, just in time for Christmas, just in time for gifts for your children or grandchildren. So be on the lookout for that. Resources.afa.net. You can still order right now. Resources.afa.net. 20% off plus free shipping on those 3 DVD sets. Well, moving into some of the other items that I want to get to. One thing I've been mentioning for several weeks now, that is our retreat, AFA retreat coming up in April of 2024. And you say it's a long time away, but it's just around the corner. This year, 2023, is going by fast. We're headed into the Thanksgiving and Christmas season, and then boom, before you know it, we'll be in April, which of course is the month of Easter. And we're going to be having our retreat in Sylacauga, Alabama at Purcell Farms. We'll be doing the show there some and having great speakers. Jenna Ellis will be there. E.W. Jackson will be there. Dr. Ray Pritchard will be there. Rob West from Faith and Finance, the show heard each weekday here on AFR, will be in attendance as well, along with the entire leadership team of AFA. So we look forward to seeing you there. AFAretreat.net is that URL. April 3rd through the 6th is the date, are the dates. April 3rd through the 6th, AFAretreat.net. Well, I brought in a few clips today, and the first one I want to get to is this whole topic of the 2020 election, and then the Democrats and their prosecutors are going after Donald Trump, trying to lock him up because he dared to question the 2020 election. And it's really, unfortunately, I believe a lot of Americans are not educated on this topic of how our elections work, the entire process, if you will. It's a little bit more than just going to the ballot box in November every 2 years or 4 years, depending on what public office we're talking about. It's more than just going to the ballot box and voting, and then boom, you got a president. Boom, you have a congressman. It is, I guess you could say it is that simple for everything but the president. But specifically, when you're looking at the office of the president, presidential elections, there's a few layers here, all right? There's a few layers. So first off, you have the primary. You have the presidential primary, which we're actually going through now for 2024. Early 2024, beginning in January, you'll be seeing some primary elections begin, starting with the Iowa caucuses. So you have the primaries, and each party picks their preferred candidate. After the primary, you transition, you switch to the general election. And after election day, in various states, in all 50 states, when we're talking about presidential, after the election day, the popular vote for each state determines which electors, Republican, Democrat, prevail, if you will, on a given state. So, for example, and I don't have the elector breakdown per state. We can get that maybe another time. But for the sake of simplicity in explaining this, let's just go with the hypothetical. So let's say Mississippi, that's where I live. Mississippi votes, the majority of Mississippi voters vote for Donald Trump for president. This is just an example. Well, the Mississippi's electors would then go towards the tally of the Republican ticket or Donald Trump's ticket. And so you do that for all 50 states, and then whoever has the most electoral college votes wins the election. All right? So popular vote only matters within a given state. Popular vote nationally is irrelevant nationally as a national number when we're talking about the U.S. presidential race. And so that's a little bit of the background here. The Electoral College is made up of different members that are chosen by each party. So the Republicans, they choose their electors, and the Democrats, they choose their electors. What happened in 2020 is really no different than what has happened in previous elections. Now, you could say it was more organized and it was more, it garnered more media attention and it was more aggressive than previous elections. But the whole idea of challenging election results is not a new phenomenon. Those who were around with the Al Gore and the Bush saga, remember that? Florida, right? That was a lengthy court battle. There were disputes on which electors were going to get to prevail. Hillary Clinton, she, to this day, doesn't accept Donald Trump as the 44th president of the United States, or the 45th rather. She doesn't accept it. President Trump was an illegitimate president, according to Hillary Clinton. And remember over in Georgia, remember Stacey Abrams when she lost to Brian Kemp? For months, and still to this day, well, actually, I think she recanted, but for months she said, oh, the election was rigged. It was stolen. Brian Kemp's not the governor. I'm the governor. And so the Democrats are now acting like that nobody has ever challenged America's election results ever. This is a new thing for America. And to show how much this is not a new thing for America, let's play clip one. This is post 2016, November 2016 election, where Hollywood actors were asking the electors to flip their vote in favor of Hillary Clinton. Clip one.
Republican members of the Electoral College, this message is for you. As you know, our founding fathers built the Electoral College to safeguard the American people from the dangers of a demagogue and to ensure that the presidency only goes to someone who is to an eminent degree endowed with the requisite qualifications.
An eminent degree. Someone who is highly qualified for the job.
The Electoral College was created specifically to prevent an unfit candidate from becoming president.
There are 538 members of the Electoral College. You and just 36 other conscientious Republican electors can make a difference
By voting your conscience on December 19th.
And thereby shaping the future of our nation.
This is great.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
As you know, the Constitution gives electors the right to vote for any eligible person.
Any eligible person, no matter which party they belong to.
But it should certainly be someone you consider especially competent.
Especially competent to serve as President of the United States of America.
By voting your conscience, you and other brave Republican electors can give the House of Representatives the option to select a qualified candidate for the presidency.
I stand with you.
I stand with you.
I stand with you.
I
stand with you in support and solidarity with conservatives, independents.
Sounds like a Ukraine ad.
All citizens of the United States.
The American people trust that your voice speaks for us all.
And that you will make yourself heard through the constitutional responsibility granted to you by Alexander Hamilton himself.
What is evident is that Donald Trump lacks more than the qualifications to be president.
He lacks the necessary stability.
And clearly the respect for the Constitution of our great nation.
You have position,
The authority
And the opportunity to go down in the books as an American hero.
Who changed the course of history.
And you have my respect.
You have my respect.
you have my respect.
for your patriotism.
And service to the American people. Unite for America. Unite for America. Give us Hillary Clinton, please. That was a ad by a bunch of people who think they are more important than they are. That was a late 2016 ad, early 2017, before the inauguration. And you know what they were doing there? They were subverting the will of the people. That's what the Democrats are saying now. Where is the RICO violation there? Because that's what they're pulling out against Donald Trump. And everyone who had anything to do with challenging the election results in Georgia, they are being charged with RICO violations. Violations that were reserved for the mafia decades ago are being used against a major political opponent of Joe Biden. Two-time political